Hi, everyone. I'm Caroline Zakarian, and I work in the Office of Civics and Community Services here at the Los Angeles Public Library. Welcome to the third and final program of America Saves Week called hashtag Get Banked, Be Ready for Tax Time. Today's program is brought to you by the Los Angeles Alliance for Economic Inclusion, LAPL. Today, Mary Duran from the Los Angeles Alliance for Economic Inclusion and FDIC and Donisha Smith from BankOn LA County will be talking to you about the benefits of opening a bank account, the resources to get you started, and the different types of accounts available. Please send us your questions throughout the program, and we'll have a brief Q&A after the presentation. Thank you, and take it away, Mary.
Thank you, Caroline. I want to thank the Los Angeles Public Library for inviting the Los Angeles Alliance for Economic Inclusion, an initiative of the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, to present this workshop entitled hashtag Get Banked, Be Ready for Tax Time. Why is it important to have a bank account as you get ready for tax time? This is a question that I'll answer today. Next, as Caroline said, I'm Mary Selena Studon. I'm a Senior Community Affairs Specialist with the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, and my co-presenter is Donisha Smith, Chief Center for Financial Empowerment, Consumer and Business Affairs for Los Angeles County. Next. So I have to share with you a disclaimer. This presentation represents the views of the speakers and not necessarily those of the agencies we represent. This presentation cannot be reproduced or distributed by a third party or on a third party website without prior authorization. Next. So today's objectives provide you with information to consider if you would like a bank account, to open a bank account, by sharing information on why you should get banked, why tax time is a great opportunity to open a bank account, talk about financial products, services, and providers, about the process of opening a bank account, managing a bank account, and how to get started. This will be followed by a presentation on BankOn Los Angeles County, LASaves.org campaign, and how money smart are you, and some additional resources. Next. So let me share with you a little bit about the FDIC. We're an independent agency created by Congress in 1933 to maintain stability and public confidence in the nation's financial system by ensuring deposits, examining and supervising financial institutions for safety and soundness and consumer protection, and managing bank receiverships. Next. So let's get right into why you should get banked. Opening a bank account can be one of the most important steps you take toward reaching your financial goals. Why? Because putting your money in an FDIC-insured bank account can offer you financial safety, easy access to your funds, savings from check cashing fees, and overall financial peace of mind. Having a bank account gives you access to your income tax refunds on a much quicker basis. You can designate the refund to be automatically deposited into your checking or savings account, or you can split your refund between both accounts. And if you qualify for child tax credits, you may receive up to another 6 months of the credit as part of your refund for 2021 taxes as you file them this year. Next. For some of you, advanced child tax credits, you may already be knowledgeable because perhaps you were receiving them. They started in July 15th, 2021, and the total credit amount is being paid in advance monthly payments. The other half of the money for 2021 will be part of your income tax return and be claimed there. For the tax year 2021, a qualifying child is an individual who does not turn 18 before January 1st of 2022. And we have a website that you can go to the IRS for additional details, and they have a number of responses to frequently asked questions. Next. I did want to share with you what are the top 10 reasons for getting banked. Your money is safe. Keeping cash in your home keeping cash in your home, put an account at an FDIC insured bank anywhere across the nation ensures that your money is protected in the event of a disaster. Your money is protected against error and fraud. Federal laws protect you in the event of a debit card error or unauthorized electronic transactions. You get your money faster with no check cashing fees. When your money is directly deposited into your FDIC insured bank account, you get access to your money sooner than if you were to receive a paper check. You can make online purchases with ease and peace of mind. Some bank accounts provide you with a debit card that you can use to shop online. You have access to other products from the bank. Once you've established a relationship with a bank through a bank account, you can consider other financial services such as, getting a credit card or a car loan or even a home mortgage. Next. It also makes it easier to transfer money to family and friends between bank accounts. It provides you with a proof of payment because you'll have your information on your bank account that it was made. And you can keep an eye on how much money you have by checking your balance routinely. It gives you useful alerts that you can set up with most financial institutions, can send you an alert if your funds are low. And you can pay your bills from anywhere. And I've added the 11th one because you can receive your tax-free refund more quickly by having them automatically deposited into your bank accounts. As you probably have read in the newspapers, some of the transactions of sending checks by mail are taking much longer to be processed. Next, we will discuss how your needs should determine which financial products, services, and providers you select. Next, I want to start off by saying that a key takeaway is to consider your needs and shop around for financial products and services. Next, financial institutions, bank and credit unions accept deposits of money. They lend money utilizing credit cards, car loans, personal loans, or mortgage loans, and they may offer other products and services such as money orders, cashier's checks, wire transfers, or safe deposit box. Next. So what's the difference between banks and credit unions? Well, banks have customers. Usually there's no membership criteria, and most are owned by shareholders. Credit unions have members, and there's a certain membership criteria that you have to meet. And they are a not-for-profit organization owned by the members. Next. The Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation protects your deposits in federally insured funds in case of bank failures. Insurance of up to at least $250,000 per depositor per FDIC insured bank per ownership category. Next, for credit unions, National Credit Union Administration provides the same protection for deposits in federally insured credit unions, and insurance rules are similar to those of the FDIC. So if you place your money in a FDIC insured bank or a NCUA insured credit union, you know that your deposits are insured. Now, accessing services. How do you access them? Well, retail locations, branches, or sometimes banks have branches in supermarkets, through automated teller machines, customer service phone numbers and emails, by going to their websites. And now, more than ever, there are mobile banking and smartphone applications, so you can handle all of your transactions just from your phone. For example, you could deposit a check that you receive using your application from the bank, and it would automatically go into the account you selected. And also wanted to make sure that you were aware that you can request reasonable accommodations if you need to. So, for example, if you use relay calls, including video relay, or arrange to have a sign language interpreter on site. Next, what financial products and services do you need? Well, generally, you want to have products that you can use to save your money, spend your money, manage your money, and borrow money. So you need to start with what your needs are. Next, we're going to talk about opening a bank account. So I'm going to be discussing opening a checking or savings account at a financial institution. And the key takeaway next is know the general process for opening a checking or savings account, including options if you are initially unable to open an account. Next, so saving and checking accounts. Safety and security from federal deposit insurance is one of the primary safety issues. You can earn interest depending on the type of account you open. It's convenient in paying your bills or paying for routine items such as buying your groceries. It's relationship building. It's the ability to build a relationship with a financial institution that may be useful when you need to borrow money. So if you're a customer of the bank already and you want a credit card or a car loan, they already have your history of how you've been handling your banking relationship. It just makes it easier. Important consumer protections, such as those that protect you in the event of unauthorized transactions from your account. Next, so how do you open an account? You can apply in person or online. The pandemic has really facilitated the process for opening accounts online more so than before. The first thing you have to do is you complete an application. And the bank is going to look for some key elements to verify who you are. So you'll need a driver's license or a state issued ID or a passport or a military ID is one of the essential items for opening an account. Social Security or an individual taxpayer ID is also required. And you need to make sure that the current address matches your ID or recent bill or a lease with a current address. So the bank has a responsibility when they open an account to make sure they know who the client is. You're going to decide whether to opt in or not, and I'll be talking about that in a little bit. You have to make your first deposit, so it's important to know how much is required to open a deposit, and we'll go over that information later in the presentation. You'll receive disclosures, you'll possibly sign documents, and then you'll have to activate your account tools. So, for example, if you select to receive a debit card as part of your bank account, when you receive it, you'll need to activate it. And be sure to ask as many questions as you have. This is the time for you to truly understand what the benefits of your account are, as well as the limits of the type of account that you open. So ask as many questions as you want. Next. So I mentioned this opt-in, and it relates to handling overdrafts. Although recently you may have heard that some financial institutions have done away with charging overdrafts. So that may be one thing when you're selecting a bank, you want to make sure you understand it. But by law, everyone is opted out and you have the option to opt in. So transactions that go through, but there's not enough money in the account to cover it, would be a potential overdraft situation. So programs to cover overdrafts for ATM cards or debit cards require you, or when you open the account, you're automatically opted out. So this means that if a transaction comes through and you don't have enough money in your bank account, they're going to decline it. If you opt in, what the bank does is they will look at the transaction, they'll look at your account, and then decide whether to approve it or not. And if they don't, they still charge you a fee. So it's a thing you need to consider in terms of when you open your account, whether you want to stay opted out or whether you want to opt in to have the bank review the transaction and determine whether or not they are going to pay it. Next. So, one of the elements in opening an account is that the bank does maintain or does request information about how you might have handled the bank account in the past if you had one. And I have to share with you that not everyone is approved to open an account. So, bank history reports include information on unpaid negative balances on accounts. This is, for example, if you overdrew your account and you haven't paid it. Um, Maybe the account was tagged because there was suspected fraud on it, or the account was closed by a financial institution. So sometimes an account could be closed because there wasn't any transactions on it and it's been a few years. But that's not necessarily a negative item. It just would show up that your account was closed by the bank. You have the right to one free banking history report for each nationwide consumer reporting company every 12 months. You can also request a free report if your application for a bank account is turned down because of the information in these reports. Now, this is not like a credit report, like, you request a credit report, but this is about opening a bank account. Next. So, how do you request a bank history report? One of the often used systems is called check systems, and I share with you here their website and their phone number so that you can call and if it should be an issue, and you can request a report to find out what the issue is as to why the bank isn't opening an account for you. And we'll also talk about what to do in certain situations that happens. Next, so I leave you with the key takeaway that know the general process for opening a savings or checking account, including options if you're initially unable to open an account. Next, I'd like to now talk to you about how to manage an account, how to manage your checking and savings account. Next. So the key takeaway for this is learn the rules of your account and keep track of how you use it. This can help you keep costs down and develop a positive banking relationship. Next, managing a checking or savings account. Well, first of all, read the rules of your account. Be sure to understand the fees, such as going below the minimum balance or making too many transactions from the account. Ask questions if you do not understand something. So, for example, a savings account may have a limit of 6 transactions per month of withdrawals, and if you made 7, they might charge you a fee. Now, perhaps the cycle, it's every 30 days or when the statement is issued, so maybe you're just on the cusp, and if you waited one more day, the 7th transaction would not be counted in that month, but would go to the next one. Keep track of your deposits and withdrawals. You can keep your own record each time you deposit or withdraw money, and also keep transactions scheduled to take place in the future, such as automatic deposits or automatic withdrawals. And now, with access to your banking account, you can check your transactions daily, but keep a record to make sure that you posted or sent a check or did an automatic payment for your car loan. Make sure you have that written down and that you know it's going to be hitting your bank account on a certain day. And there's a number of tools like a mobile app to help you keep track of where you are as well. Sign up for emails or text alerts to notify you if your balance falls below a certain level or when a transaction is over a certain amount. So these are things that you can do in managing your account. I'd like to next talk about consider direct deposits. Deposit money safely and securely into your account electronically. With this feature, you don't have to worry about finding time to make deposits in person. Many employers offer direct deposit for paychecks. You might also be able to set up a direct deposit to have a certain amount of each check automatically go into your savings account. Having your IRS tax refund deposited automatically into your account is faster than waiting for a check and for individuals who qualified and had an account established with the IRS, saw automatic deposits faster than those that requested a check via mail. Also, think about splitting your refund between your checking and savings account. This may be the time of year that you receive extra income, or really your refund from the previous year, and it's great to set aside a certain amount for an emergency savings. Next slide. So the takeaway from this is learn the rules of your account and keep track of how you use it. This can help you keep down the costs and develop a positive banking relationship. Next. So do you need to open a bank account? As I mentioned, opening a bank account can be one of the most important steps you take to reaching your financial goals, because putting your money in a FDIC-insured bank account can offer you financial safety, easy access to your funds, savings from check cashing fees, and overall financial peace of mind. Next. So how do you get started? There's a thing that we call a checklist checking account. It could be a good option for you if you're thinking about opening your first bank account. You can make purchases with a debit card instead of writing a check, and they may allow you to access your account and pay your bills online or using a mobile app. Checklist accounts typically enable customers to avoid spending more than the amount available in the account. Going back to when I was talking about overdraft, you won't have that issue because there won't be any checks. And many FDIC insured banks have options to open an account online, so you can actually schedule an appointment to open an account in person at your local bank branch if that's what you want to do instead of virtually. And with that, I would like to turn it over to my co-presenter, Danisha Smith. Danisha?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Mary. Thank you for the opportunity to be a part of the discussion today. My name is Danisha Smith, and I serve as the chief over the Center for Financial Empowerment, which is a unit within the county's Department of Consumer and Business Affairs, also known as DCBA. Next slide. Before I dive into BankOn Los Angeles County, I think it would be helpful to provide a bit of context about our department. So the Department of Consumer and Business Affairs is your local consumer protection resource that's available to all Los Angeles County residents. We serve consumers, businesses, and communities through education, advocacy, and complaint resolution. Our mission is to create a fair and vibrant marketplace for consumers and businesses by offering assistance in the following areas: small claims advice, foreclosure prevention counseling, consumer counseling, tenant protections, and we also enforce the county's minimum wage ordinance. And lastly, we conduct fraud investigations. All of our services are free. In addition to providing a broad range of direct one-on-one consumer services to county residents, we also work on a number of advocacy issues to support the implementation of policies that protect and support local consumers. Next slide. The Center for Financial Empowerment, also known as the CFE, is one of the newest units within the Department of Consumer and Business Affairs. The Center for Financial Empowerment convenes, advocates, and builds capacity to strengthen the financial health of county residents with a focus on BIPOC communities to build economic resiliency. We oversee the BankOn Los Angeles County initiative, and we manage a number of programs and advocacy efforts to help improve the financial well-being of vulnerable populations throughout the county. Next slide. And now that you know a little bit more about the Department of Consumer and Business Affairs, let's dive into the BankOn Los Angeles County initiative. Next slide, please. So, BankOn is a national movement to increase access to safe and affordable bank and credit union accounts. The national program is overseen by the Cities for Financial Empowerment Fund. And as I've mentioned, the Department of Consumer and Business Affairs, Center for Financial Empowerment, oversees the local initiative. It's estimated that there are roughly 63 million adults in the US who are unbanked or underbanked, and as a result, have to rely on expensive alternative financial services like check cashing, payday lenders, pawn shops, and other outlets for routine financial transactions. Unbanked and underbanked individuals can spend as much as $40,000 over their lifetime on unnecessary fees to manage their finances. And this is a significant cost for people that can least afford it. So, access to a basic checking account is an important first step in participating in the financial mainstream. Depositing your earnings securely, paying bills efficiently, accessing credit, and saving for emergencies in the future. So, BankOn works with financial institutions to help improve access to safe and affordable checking accounts. Next slide. So, believe it or not, Los Angeles County is one of the highest unbanked regions in our country. There are over 1 million unbanked people in Los Angeles County, so roughly about 20%, according to data from Prosperity Now and other sources. Without access to mainstream financial services, many county residents are vulnerable to using the expensive alternative financial service providers I mentioned earlier. So, banking access supports financial stability. Being banked makes it easier to achieve your other financial goals. Next slide. What's so great about this initiative is that the CFE fund at the national level has developed a comprehensive set of account standards that banks and credit unions adhere to. Their account standards are designed with consumers in mind. The accounts are designed to be safe, affordable, and functional. So as you'll see on the right side of this slide, there's a list there of BankOn account standards. And if you can't view it here, you can always visit the BankOn website to see it in more detail. But these terms and conditions are required of participating financial institutions. They must agree to these in order for their checking account to receive the BankOn seal of approval. The terms and conditions include things like no overdraft fees, no account inactivity fees, free telephone banking, free bill pay, and other conveniences. When a financial institution wants to be a part of the BankOn initiative, their account is reviewed and vetted and compared to these standards to ensure that they are in compliance. And that review is done by the National Consumer Law Center. So as a consumer, you have some peace of mind knowing that a consumer protection entity has reviewed these accounts with your well-being in mind. Next slide. So the pandemic has really highlighted the importance of having a bank account. Having a bank account has been critical for people to receive stimulus payments, unemployment benefits, and other benefits faster, safer, and remotely. 6 of our local participating financial institutions allow for their accounts to be opened online, which gives LA County residents even greater convenience if you would prefer to open an account online rather than visiting a local branch. 6 of our participating financial institutions can facilitate that. And you can visit our website at dcba.lacounty.gov and click on the BankOn tab for more information. Next slide. So here you can really see the account features clearly that I alluded to earlier. As I mentioned, these accounts include very low monthly maintenance fees of $5 or less, minimum opening deposit fees, no overdraft fees, and other conveniences like ATM access, online bill pay, etc. Again, you can visit our website at dcba.lacounty.gov/bankon to learn more about the benefits of banking and to view our educational materials like our videos, our flyers, and other resources. We also have a very handy matrix on our website, which you see here in the center of the slide. This document provides a nice high-level bird's eye view comparison of the terms and conditions of each account that is a part of this local initiative. So you can quickly and easily compare the account features, terms, and conditions and decide which is best for you. Next slide. So please consider following us on Twitter at LA County CFE. We're always sharing information about financial empowerment resources throughout the county. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak with you today, and I'll turn it back over to Mary to conclude our session.
Thank you, Donisha. And before we go to the LA Saves, I just wanted to share with you that information that I started with and the information that Donisha talked about, you can also find on the fdic.gov/getbanked, and it has all kinds of information that I shared with you today, and also where to find a BankOn bank. And so now talking about LA Saves, this is America Saves, LA Saves Week. It happens every year, and this is the week. And I want to thank Donisha and the County of Los Angeles for having proclaimed it Los Angeles Saves Week throughout the County of Los Angeles. And we wanted to encourage you to start saving for emergencies. Start small, think big, set a goal, make a plan, take action. And the best way to take action is to take a pledge to start saving. It's the same thing as, maybe you decide you're going to lose weight. And if you just think about it, it sometimes never happens. But if you tell a friend, the friend might encourage you and ask you how you're doing. Well, that's the same thing with taking the pledge at lasaves.org, lasaves.org. You take a pledge to save $10, $20 a month for 12 months, and it'll share it with you how much that will be and send you tips. Next slide. But why should you save? And, we talk about saving for emergencies, but you should also think about saving for the good kind of unexpected opportunities. So don't only save for emergencies, save for opportunities too. And as I said, take the pledge at lasaves.org. Next. So as we're almost at the end of concluding today, I want to encourage you to take action. What are you going to do with the information we presented to you today? How are you going to use it? And will you share your plans with anyone? If so, who? As I mentioned, sharing what you're going to do with someone else helps you keep you on track and helps you achieve your goals by reminding you. Next slide. So one of the things I wanted to share with you, if you'd like to learn other topics on financial education, the FDIC just launched late last year a new program, How Money Smart Are You? And you can find it at playmoneysmart.fdic.gov. Next slide. So this is a game format that you download on your computer, or you can use your iPhone or any phone to access the program. There's 14 financial topics that are covered. Each game has a round, and the rounds show up with the menu similar to what you see on the slide. This particular slide happens to be about your savings. So if you'd like more details on saving, it has 5 rounds. Other games have anywhere between 2 and 5 rounds. If you win the required number of coins for each round, you win that round. And when you win all the rounds in the game, you win the game. And if you'd like to get a certificate for having completed one of these topics, there's a way to do it by signing on, and it keeps track. But you don't have to create an account. You can just play it on the browser. But if you'd like to receive a certificate, then you should create an account. Next slide. We've provided you with a number of resources that you can access, and some of the ones that we talked about today, the top reasons for opening a bank account, how to pick a bank account. There's a checklist to help you compare them. Also a checklist on what you need to open an account. So you take all the materials or all your documentation so you can get it handled in the one trip to the bank. Information on managing your account, other consumer resources that the FDIC provide, the hashtag #GetBanked, BankOn Los Angeles County, and how to take the savings pledge. So we hope that you'll utilize these resources as you look towards enhancing your financial capacity. Next slide. Danisha and I want to thank you and see if we have any questions from the audience.
Thank you guys for a great presentation. Let's see if we have any questions that came in. Yes, we do have a few questions. If I want to open a bank account so I can request a direct deposit for my refund, thank you for displaying it. When should I do it?
So I would suggest doing it like 2 weeks in advance to make sure the account is already open and you didn't run into any issues with establishing your account, so that it can automatically be deposited and you'll have your funds sooner than if you had received them by check. And Danisha, I don't know if you wanted to add anything to that.
Yeah, great question. And that was a great response, Mary. We know that recently the IRS commissioner did warn that taxpayers could face delays in receiving their refunds. So it's important that we do what we can to facilitate that process with what's in our control. So being banked definitely helps rather than waiting for a paper check, and also using electronic filing would also help as well.
Good to know. Okay. I have another question that came in. If I had a bank account a few years ago, which was closed because I had overdrawn it, what can I do now?
You want to take that one, Danisha?
Sure. So I would encourage you to attempt to open a BankOn participating account. As Mary discussed in her presentation, there are consumer reporting agencies like Check Systems that track banking history and compile reports. And some financial institutions do use that information to screen prospective clients. But what's so great about BankOn is that it's not just for people who are currently unbanked. The BankOn initiative can also be considered as sort of second chance accounts for people that may have been banked in the past and encountered an issue. So please take advantage of the participating accounts in the BankOn LA County initiative, because many of them would be a great resource for anyone who may have had a negative Check Systems report in the past.
Thank you. I have one more question that came. What's the best way to approach a bank if I want to open one of the accounts listed on BankOn?
So, on our website, as I mentioned, we have a nice comparison document that allows consumers to compare and contrast the account features. What's nice about the BankOn initiative is that because the participating financial institutions have to have their accounts certified, that allows for a lot of standardization across accounts. So you won't see a lot of significant variation. But once you assess the account's features and conditions, another thing you may want to consider is geography or location. You know, if there's a particular participating financial institution that has a branch that is close to your residence or where you work, where you worship, those are some things to keep in mind. It's just convenience as well. Once you've decided on an account, it's probably best to call that local branch if you want to open an account in person and schedule an appointment. And when you call, you can ask what documentation you need to bring. As Mary discussed earlier, most times you need some form of government issued ID and a document to prove where you live, such as a utility bill or a lease. When you visit your local branch, be sure to know the name of the specific account that you're interested in. Don't say, I want the BankOn account. So as an example, one of our participating financial institutions is California Bank and Trust. So if you were going to that branch, you would say, I'm interested in opening the on budget banking account because that's the name of their financial product. And again, the names of all of the financial products are available on our website. Mary, is there anything else you'd like to add to that?
I think that that's good insight of, being prepared to open the bank account is by looking at the different accounts that are on the BankOn Los Angeles County. You can determine which one makes sense, which one has branches close to you, and more importantly, like Donisha says, ask them for the specific bank account name so that you know that what you saw, what they have to offer is the product that you're going to receive. Now, sometimes when you go in and you're going to use the BankOn product and it makes really good sense for you, but you might find out, if you happen to be my age, that there's a senior citizen account and maybe it has even a fewer better features for you. So you want, shop around, look at it, but we do know that the BankOn ones have these set parameters of being a lower cost account.
Okay, thank you. We just had one comment that just came through about, do we have a class on investing? I don't know. Does Money Smart have an investing anything? I don't know if there's an investing workshop. I know sometimes we have programs with Financial Planning Association. They talk more about investing, but do we have anything? Mary, do you know of?
Yes. So in the Money Smart curriculum, there is a topic that talks about, savings accounts and bonds and other kinds of securities. Obviously, those types of activities are not insured by any agency. So being knowledgeable of what you're going to select is important. And as a starter, we're always discussing opening up a bank account so that your money is FDIC insured or insured by NCUA if it's a credit union. So, but there is a little bit of content in our Money Smart financial education information so that you at least receive a basic understanding of what those other products are.
Okay. Maybe we can have a Money Smart thing on that too next time. But thank you. Thank you both so much. I think that was all that came through right now. Okay. Thank you both. I wanted to just remind everyone that next Saturday, March 5th, we have a free income tax preparation and filing through IRS's VITA program at the Central Library, 10 to 2. It's UCLA VITA. And it's in our meeting room A, and it's appointments required, and be prepared to show vaccine information. So we and for more information on that program and our other tax programs, you can go to lapl.org/taxes to make an appointment, and also the LA Saves website. Sorry, this audio is thing. lasaves.org. That's the website for all the LA Saves information, and you can go there too. But thank you, and that's all I have for today. Thank you, everyone, for a great presentation, and I hope everyone has a great rest of your afternoon. Thank you very much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you.